Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a player guide on one of the most desired cosmic champs, Medusa, and actually one of the most desired champs in the game presently. We're going to be focusing on her pros, her cons, her gameplay, and so much more. As usual, these guides are for new players coming into the game, or players who are just not familiar with the champ. I always liked Medusa in the comic books. I actually prefer that design a little bit better. I like that she used to wear a mask. She has a lot of flowing hair. This particular Medusa in the game was designed off the Inhumans television show that turned out to be kind of a flop. But she's still pretty cool. She's got some cool abilities. She's got some cool graphics. She's got some cool special moves. So let's move on and take a look at the pros and cons. So the first pro I want to talk about is Medusa's ability to armor break and armor shatter. So first we'll talk about the armor break. There's two ways that she can armor break, either by using her medium attacks or her SP1 or a combination of the two. Every time she uses her armor break, it reduces the armor rating reduction of the opponent by 352. She can do up to 5 armor breaks, but once she hits the 6, that becomes an armor shatter, which is something a little bit different, and we'll talk about that in a moment. It's very good for taking out champs like Civil Warrior, as you saw there. Black Panther as well, Civil War. You'll be able to stop his reflective armor. Killmonger with his reverberation. You just have to be aware that some things she can't take out, like armor that is passive. Iron Man Infinity War's molecular armor will not be able to go down, but you could take down his regular armor. So pretty cool. Like I said, you have to do an SP1 or a medium attack. And what you want to do is you want to do usually a combination involving 2 medium attacks, which gets you 2 armor breaks, and then you do your SP1. That gives you 4 more armor breaks, and that will bring you into the armor shatter category. So let's talk about armor shatter a bit. Like I said, you need 6 armor breaks to shatter the opponent. I usually do it 2 ways. The first way is to get a couple of medium attacks in for 2 armor shatters, and then doing the SP1. That gives you 4 more, so that's 2 plus 4 equals 6, which equals shattered. At that point, the opponent cannot bring up any armor except for passive. His armor rating is reduced by 2,444, and you have the ability to bleed on any light critical hits. Now, the other way to do it is doing your SP3. Everything's exactly the same. It automatically armor shatters, except it lasts for 35 seconds. Now, you can actually stack these as well. As you see, I already have my armor shatter up, and then I come in and I do my SP3, which is another armor shatter. So I can actually have 2 armor shatters up at once. It doesn't last very long, but it's a pretty cool ability. So a few things more about armor shatter and armor break. If you happen to have the synergy with Karnak, your heavy attacks can actually do up to 4 permanent armor breaks, not shatter, but breaks. That's pretty nice because normally your armor breaks expire quite quickly. Now you do have to remember that once you do shatter the opponent, all armor breaks, including your permanent armor breaks, will be removed. Everything is reset. Another thing you got to remember is when someone is shattered and you do light critical attacks, you will do bleed damage. We'll talk about bleed damage a little bit more, but you can have up to 30 stacks of small bleed damage. And the third thing that we're going to talk about armor shatter is the next pro. My favorite thing about armor shatter is it really destroys robots. It actually has special abilities against robots. It reduces ability accuracy and power gains by 100%. And just to give you an example here, the perfect example to show you what armor shatter can do against robots is the Ultron in Act 5, Chapter 5.4.6. This particular Ultron has crazy regeneration, power gain, evade. But once you get your shatter in, all those abilities that he have are completely gone. You can see his power gain is not actually gaining. He's not evading. He's not regenerating. He's just pretty well useless. So you got to keep your armor shatter going, spamming the SP3 in most cases. Since he's so aggressive, you can basically run in and attack. It's just a great tool against this particular champion. And this goes with other champions like Sentinel and Vision. They're all robots, so you'll be able to shut down their abilities completely. Now, if you're going to be doing 5.4.6 with the Medusa, 4-star, 5-star, maybe even a 3-star, just remember at the beginning of the fight, the Ultron has a power gain. It's a little gray circle up in the corner. Just let that expire before you parry, because if you parry him when he has that power gain, he can basically get 100% power and kill you right away. So there you go, there's the best reason to have armor shatter. So moving on from the destroying robots, we're going to take a look at her bleed attacks and some mastery chat. Now the great thing about Medusa is she does not have to bleed. This is very useful against champs like Cable, because if you bleed Cable you will degenerate. It's useful against the corner nodes. It's useful against characters like Domino. When she bleeds she gains power. Basically, to avoid bleeding, the best way to do it is just to avoid doing your armor shatter. Once you do your armor shatter, any critical light attack will cause bleed. Of course you could get around it just doing medium attacks, but I just don't use my armor shatter if I don't want to bleed somebody. So avoid doing the 6 armor breaks and avoid doing your SP3 and you'll never bleed. Even your SP2 won't do bleeds as long as armor shatter is not active. Okay, we'll get back to the bleed. I just want to talk about the masteries a bit because they also associate with the bleed. Some ones that you might want to consider are Despair is very good. Debuffs applied to enemies reduce their healing and regeneration effects by 5%. Doesn't sound like a lot, 5%, but remember she can put up to 30 bleeds on top of someone, so basically you can shut down regeneration, and I'm going to show you that in Realm of Legends against Wolverine. If you have some points to throw away, I guess you could say, you could extend your Furies. Not super great, but not too bad. A lot of people enjoy using Suicides with Medusa. She's already a big hitter. So that extra damage, plus she's immune to poison, so she doesn't have to worry about the negative effects of Liquid Courage. Many people will use Suicides in Labyrinth of Legends and just spam the SP3. Another thing that I like here on defense is Inequity. Decrease opponent's attack by 2% for each negative effect they suffer. Again, that goes with the bleeds. You have 30 bleeds on someone on a long fight. 2%, 30% reduction in attack. Pretty nice. Resonate, another one that I like. Contact and physical attacks have a 16% chance to weaken the opponent. Again, long fights, pretty sweet. But you got to remember it weakens the opponent, so some characters like Domino would actually place more critical failures on top of you. So I don't use them everywhere, but I use them some places. Willpower, if you're bringing her in with Suicides, is very important. So there you have it, just a quick look at some of the mastery setups that you can put in. Some people like putting points in the glass cannon to bring up your attack because she has such high damage. So let's move on to talk more about the bleed. So we're going to take a look at bleed in a little bit more detail against the Wolverine in the Realm of Legends. In order for Medusa to bleed, she has to have Armor Shatter active. If Armor Shatter is not active, then she cannot bleed. Now once the Shatter is active, she has 3 ways that she can bleed the opponent. 1, it can be a critical light attack. 2, it can be a heavy attack. Or 3, it can be from your special 2. It has a 60% chance to cause bleed from the 10-hit combo. Now if you don't have the Shatter up and you do an SP2, you cannot bleed, but you have a 3.5 second stun instead. So Medusa can actually stack up to 30 bleeds as long as the Armor Shatter is active. Once the Shatter expires, then all bleeds are removed. So basically you want to set up a system where you're doing light attacks to do your bleeds, and you are spamming your SP3, which also causes Armor Shatter. But you want to make sure that you do your Armor Shatter just before the other one expires, because you want to keep it going and keep it going and keep it going, because once it expires you're going to lose all your bleeds and have to start again. So in this particular battle, you can see that Wolverine is not regenerating anymore. That's because I have so many bleeds up, and I have the Despair Mastery, which reduces the regeneration and heal of champions by 5% per negative effect on the opponent. And since I have 30 bleeds on him, he will never regenerate as long as I keep my Armor Shatter active. So it's a pretty cool ability. A 4-star, maybe even a 3-star could take out this Wolverine once you get up the bleeds. Very useful in Labyrinth against opponents that can bleed. Lots of extra damage. The next pro we're going to talk about Medusa is she's great pretty much everywhere in this game. From Labyrinth to Legends, where she's poison immune, she hits very hard, she has good bleed damage, she has good synergies with Black Bolt, because there's the 6 Furies, good synergies with Karnak, and the team gives them 25% attack bonus at the beginning of the fight. She can run Suicides very effectively, she can armor break, she just has a lot going for her. She might not be the best Labyrinth to Legends champ, but she's definitely up there in the top contenders. She's also excellent in Alliance questing. She's great for the poison line. She's great for taking on sentinels because she can shut down the robots. She's also great in war. She can be used for attack very effectively. She can also be used as defense. Of course, having her duped is a little bit better on defense, and she's great for regular questing. So you can bring her almost everywhere. She's not really a champ that you can only bring, you know, one place or that place or this place. You can bring her everywhere, and she's going to do a good job. So moving on from there, we'll look at Poison Immune, Awakening, and their synergies. We'll start off with the Awakening. If Medusa has 3 or more Furies up, she has Living Strands, which gives her the ability to auto-block a second attack. We'll see right here, 1, 2, she auto-blocked, and that stuns the opponent. It's a nice ability to have, especially if you're attacking and you get caught. It's also very good in war because it's difficult for the champs to attack Medusa. Medusa is also immune to all poisons of the game, so she's great for running the poison lines in Alliance Quest. She's also very good for running suicides because she'll be immune to the liquid courage damage. Another great thing about her is her synergies. With Black Bolt, she can have up to 6 Fury attacks. With Karnak, she gets a chance to permanent armor break, and if they're both together, she gets a 25% attack bonus at the beginning of the fight. She also has some synergies with Quake and Wolverine, which do some critical damage rating bonuses. So we'll quickly go through some cons. The first thing is she really needs to be awakened or duped to be awesome on defense. That ability to have Living Strands and auto parry on the second hit can really cause a lot of problems with a lot of players. In regards to offense, it's not super necessary, but the Fury attacks definitely help her damage. So awakening this champ is a pretty good idea if you can do it. The next con is she has no regeneration or bleed immunity. She has the auto parry when she's duped, which is very nice. It can save you in a situation. She doesn't have the strongest armor, so she's a little soft at times, but just keep that in mind when you're playing with her. The next con is she's starting to get a lot of counters to her auto block. When she was first introduced, there wasn't too many champs that could do that, and she really caused a lot of havoc on defense. But these days, you got Captain America Infinity War that can bypass her Fury with her SB1. You got Killmonger, you got Karnak, you got Proxima. And people are just starting to get used to basically how to fight her. So she's not as tough as she was in defense. Can still cause some serious damage, but not as tough as she used to be. So normally I'd have a 4th con, but I can't really think of a good one. I just think she's such a great champ. So we're just going to sum up from here. Medusa, she's probably one of the best champs in the game, definitely in the Cosmic class. She just has so much going for her. She's got the poison immunity, she's got the damage, she's got the bleed, she's got the armor break, she's got the armor shatter. She's got great synergies. She has the ability to take out robots. She can be played in anywhere in the game, from Labyrinth of Legends, questing, war, attack, and defense. She's just a very well-rounded champ and probably one of my favorite champs of the game. And that's probably why I 565 her. She was my second 565. So I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. Please let me know if you have any questions, if you want to offer anything that I missed or correct anything that I might have put in. I really appreciate all you guys joining my channel and subscribing and sharing my links. I really want this channel to grow, and I appreciate it so much, and we'll talk to you all soon, and take care, everybody.
Target identified. Analysis complete. Please subscribe.